Hello everyone, it's Liz from West Star Tarot. Welcome to part 5 of my culling videos series. So today we're going to tackle the closet. This is a space I'm a little bit embarrassed about. It's kind of messy. I'm gonna see if I can bring you in. Yeah, I guess you can't see the top, but there's books and incense and stuff. Here's the actual bookcase itself, guidebooks and decks. So this shelf right here, oh, and you can see there's like dried herbs and oils and candles. So I keep like my magical working supplies in here. But hopefully when all this is said and done, I can reorganize and get things squared away. So anyway, this shelf right here, that's Rider-Waite-Smith decks. So I'm going to start with that, but I'm going to have to move all these little bits and pieces off first. So bear with while I do that. This is dried lavender and other dried things, sage, and all kinds of lovely little bits and pieces. I probably should have done this before I started the video, but I actually wanted you to see the decks the way they are. So, wow, this is a lot. I know a lot of people have way more Rider-Waite-Smith decks than this, but I think that's really more than enough. All right, here we go. Well, I'm starting with the one on top. Is this crooked? I feel like it's crooked. There we go. This is the Golden Rider. Definitely keeping Edition Française. And I got this back in the day when you couldn't get the English one, and I really like this deck. I think it's a great Rider-Waite deck for this time of year because of the color palette. So the artist took the outlines and then just did their own coloration, and I feel like it's very autumnal, the coloration, and I love it quite a bit. Francois Taperneau is the person who did the artwork, and this is, I think, AGM. Yeah, AGM. So I had to go get this on French Amazon, but I kind of like having it in French because I'm a Francophile, so it's nice to have a couple of decks in French. This is the Centennial, I believe. Yeah. So I think I have the whole kit. It's actually on a different shelf. I'm pushing that over there. All right, this one. Woo-wee, this is definitely a keeper. So this was I had to pull a little sneaky peek to get this one. I don't know what the scoop is now, but when this first came out, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, I'm not even sure now, you couldn't get it. It was Lo Scarabeo, I believe. I love the coloration on this deck, the turquoise backgrounds. I wonder, have we come to the Two of Swords? It's just gorgioso. But anyway, you couldn't get this in the United States because of US Games at the time still had the copyright, patent, whatever, on all Rider-Waite-Smith decks. And so they wouldn't allow it to be, brought into this country. So I was going to visit my cousins in England. And so I thought, and I had a copy from UK Amazon shipped to my cousin's house. And then when I got there, I'm like, okay, I've got the deck. So this is the Pamela Coleman Smith RWS Tarot, and I love it and cherish it. And I'm kind of proud of myself for how I managed to get a hold of it. I think they reissued it and now it's a different color palette. So I definitely will be holding on to that one. This is Weight on Acid. This is Tarotica. I don't know if I ever even used it. I'm going to put that in maybe. This was a gift from a friend who thought this is sort of a good deck to have in your bag of tricks, so I'll keep that one. This is sort of another similar coloration to the that Pamela Coleman Smith one, but it's shiny and it's borderless. And I use this actually fairly a lot, so I'm gonna keep this one. I'm probably gonna end up keeping most of these Rider-Waite Smith ones. I am a Rider-Waite Smithy. What can I say? All right, this is I know what this is. This is this is a vintage 1980 something, 1970 something. I'm not sure. I got this online. I don't have the book or anything that goes with it. Although a friend of mine did photocopy hers and give it to me. I love this so much. And my sister, who's not a tarot person, when I was telling her about it and showing it to her, she said, you know, Auntie Sue gave that to me for Christmas one year. So my sister, who's not the tarot person, ended up, you know, when she was like 14 or something, our aunt gave her the full set for a Christmas gift. That is a keeper. I love the colors on that. Love, love, love. Oh, shoot. Oh, here it is. I want to follow that up with this, the Moon Baby Tarot. So Brent took the original Hoi Polloi and cleaned up the images and recolored them. And a couple years ago, issued this deck. And man, the cardstock. I love he included 2 justices and 2 strengths, so you can put them at 8 or 11. So the color palette, the edging, oh my gosh, look at that beautiful pale pink. The color palette has been toned down a bit. And I have to say, I like it, but I really like that kind of more psychedelic one better. But oh my gosh, the cardstock, this is a gorgeous deck. Really glad I have it. I'm going to keep it. Really lovely. Brent did a great job on that. This is a Rider-Waite Smith deck, and you know what? These are the backs. Does anyone know? Is this a Conrad stain? I don't know. I think it might be. Really pretty. Really, really pretty. Let me know if you know what this is, but I think it might be a Conrad stain version of the Rider-Waite Smith. Anyway, I do like it, and I will be keeping it. Tarot Vintage, similar. It's got the I love this for winter, so like the Golden Rider I like for fall, and this one I like for winter because look at how subdued and wintry the color palette is. So hey, seasonal Rider-Waite Smith, why not? So I will be keeping that one. Like I said, I think oh no, maybe not this one. This is called the Gold Foil Tarot. Oh, it's a drawer. So, oh shit. If I could open it, it would help. I think I just broke the box. But anyway, I don't know that I'll be keeping this one. Ooh, it's pretty kooky. Oh yeah, it shows up on the camera. Oh my God. So for all your lovely psychedelic ayahuasca trips, you can bring out this one. It's kind of kooky. I don't know. I saw somebody had it online and I just went to, it was an impulse buy. I don't know. I think I'm going to put it in maybe. I don't want to say no, but yeah, that's a maybe. Unfortunately, the box is a little bit screwed up. I don't know how that happened. It's very slippery, but it is very, very shuffleable. All right, so that's a, oh shucks, maybe. This I got when I was teaching classes before the pandemic. I hope someday I go back to teaching tarot and doing readings for the public. I just haven't gotten back to it since the pandemic, but I'm going to keep that for just hoping that that means that will happen. This is a Pam B reproduction. I'll probably keep that. I love this one. It's like the antique version. I think, was this a make playing cards? I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it, but I really like it and I will keep it. It's little. I edged it in brown and I keep it in this little High Priestess bag. What is this? Oh, this one I showed the other day. It's just AGM Rider-Waite-Smith. Now these two are Rider-Waite-Smith Cloney decks that I modified. And I was inspired by my dearly beloved Veronica Jude, who used to have a tarot channel. I called her the queen of mods. I mean, she was unbelievable. But she had this idea of, so this is the Albano weight. So we took a 2-inch paper punch and I'm going to do it this way so I can see, and made a circular deck out of the regular size rectangular deck. And this is great for travel, and it's great if you want to read with directionality. The fun thing about making these decks, and I'll show you the next one too, is you have to look at that card, the rectangular card, and decide which elements of the card to keep in the punch out and which to release, because you can't get them all. So a lot of times it's quite clear which ones to keep, but sometimes it's not. So like here with the 10 of Cups, I chose to do the rainbow and the cups over the happy family. So yeah, so this is a deck that I modified and I love. And yeah, I don't know if you remember the my Daughters of the Moon pack or bag or whatever you want to call it is this same thing. A friend of mine made a big one and a little one. She had no idea that I'd be putting tarot decks in them, and I had no idea that I used to use this for jewelry when I traveled. And then when I made this round deck, I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. So there's that one. Here's the next one, also inspired by V. This was the Robin Wood, and I don't know. I wasn't crazy. Oh, and here's the one that I liked the least. Oh no, not the Empress. I just thought looked so funky. Anyway, this was squaring. We squared the deck. But so again, this was cutting and cornering. It was a bit more of a process than just the paper punch. But it had the same thing. You had to take a look at the cards and decide, okay, you know, what stays in and what do we, like, you know, if you weren't an experienced tarot reader, you probably wouldn't know that that was the 7 of Wands. But of course, we who read tarot and are familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith, we know that. So anyway, those are two of my cherished decks that I was very proud of myself for modifying. So I will definitely be keeping those. Plus, they're so little. They hardly take up any room whatsoever. And I have little bags for them. So it's all good. All right, my last two on this shelf. Two Carol Herzers. So I've talked about this before. One I bought myself. I think I got it 10 years ago on a special birthday. And I thought, oh, you know what? I've always wanted a Carol Herzer deck. Darn it, I'm buying one for myself when I turn 60. So I did. And now I've had this deck. It's 10 years later. 10 and 60 equals my age. Anyway, so this is the Starlight Illumination Edition. So I posted with that and I liked that a lot. And then an online friend of mine used to always ask me, how do you like that deck? What do you think of that deck? I want to get the sparkly one. And I was like, yeah, I want to get the sparkly one too, but it costs $400, so that ain't happening. And so my friend got the deck. And one day I went to the mail and there was this darn deck right there in my mail. You can't, why do I think it's ever going to be any difference? Oh, there you go. Oh, you can see the sparkles. Yay. Yeah, this is like extra, extra, extra sparkly. Anyway, my friend told me that they were using the deck one day and they felt like they were kind of getting done with it. And they got a message from Spirit or somewhere that said, you need to give this to Liz. And so they sent it to me in the mail. And I was like, what the heck? I can't take this. This is not. And they just said, I wish you would, Liz. I want you to have it. You're supposed to have it. So I have it. Isn't that amazing? You know, as much as I look at the world and I see a bunch of assholes, I also look at the world and see some magnificent human beings and many magnificent human beings right here in our lovely tarot community. So, thank you, friend. And thank you to everybody who's been watching these videos and supporting me and commenting. It's really kind of fun. Of course, once I try to clean up all this mess that I've created, I might not be having so much fun. But anyway, okay, I've got one more shelf left. I'm going to do that. Hold on while I pull those cards down. Sorry, I have to have my back to you. Oh, there's a few decks up here, boy. Oh dear, I didn't know there were going to be as many. All right. Again, I'm sorry that I had my back to you all. I probably should have emptied this out before I started, but you know, I didn't think of that. All right, let's start with these two big biggies on the end. So, all right, here we go. All right, so this is the Mother's Wisdom. I don't know if this is still in print or not. And I mean, you don't have to be a biological mother to use this deck, but I think it really was specifically made for women who are mothers, for people who are mothers, biological mothers. But anyway, there's this, they revised this deck. I showed it earlier. I'm going to put in the description box the name of what they revised it into. So this is a maybe. I think I'm going to keep this, but I just don't know. I don't really have that much of a need for it right now, but I'm thinking, you know, I might have a client who wants to have a reading with that. This is Tattoo Tarot. I never use it. I'm going to put that in goodbye. Oh, the first one today. All right, here is, I think this is my trimmed wildwood. If you remember, I think yesterday I posted a video where I had the full-size one, and I said I'm going to put them both in maybe. I don't know why I can't open this. To decide which one I'm going to keep, and it would be nice if I could undo the knot. Here we go. I think I am going to keep this trimmed version. I really like it. And oh my gosh, Jesus. Okay, I edged it, I trimmed it. It really looks great without the borders. I really like it. So I think I will keep this one, but I'm going to put them both in maybe for now and make the final decision when I'm kind of putting those decks away. So that'll go in maybe, even though I'm probably going to keep it. This one, Wild Moon Lunar Phase deck from Tamed Wild. This is one of those ads that pops up on your Instagram, and the decks, it's just a pretty deck. Remember what I said? Don't fall for another pretty deck. I did. I'm putting this in no. I don't want it. Never use it. All right, guys. Spirit Keepers. I don't think I have ever used this deck. It was like when I first got it, I felt like, oh, it's too precious to use or something. So I never used it. I didn't get the second version, but I got the first edition of the third version. So I think I'm going to rehome this. I've never used it, and I don't think I ever will use it. I rarely use this. I might rehome this one too. I'll put this one in maybe, and this one in goodbye. The Keymaster Tarot, I'm sure everyone knows, Spirit Keepers by Benabel Wen. This was a Kickstarter, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get this. I need to branch out and, kind of expand what I have in my collection. And so I did. And I have never used this, not once. The cardstock is gorgeous. The packaging is gorgeous. It is really, really lovely. And it is by some dude named The House of the Rising Spade. Where is their name? Designed and illustrated by Lorenzo Gagliotti, Stockholm 17 playing cards. So that is going to go into goodbye. Let me know. All right, this one and this little box that was my parents. I grew up with this on the coffee table in our living room, and look, this deck just fits in perfectly. This deck. Oh dear. This deck was, so it's the black deck. And, this guy, I forget what his first name is, was posting these cards as he created them. He's I think a graphic artist, some kind of, makes posters and things like that. He decided to make a tarot deck. It's really beautiful. It is some of his ideas and interpretations for the cards. I think these are the court cards. I had pulled them out when I was doing something with court cards. Are real. Oh, was that the Queen of Cups? Mother of Cups. So anyway, love the art. This was an expensive deck. Cost over, I think with shipping, it was over $100. Let's see if I can get a regular size tarot card. It's little. It's like on an index card. The cardstock sucks, The it's small, so you can't really get a great you know, you don't really get a nice, really good view. And I mean, if I had paid 40 bucks for this, I'd be like, okay, but I didn't. I paid 100 bucks for it. Or I don't remember. I think 100 bucks. 100 bucks. And it's the cardstock. It was such a disappointment. When I opened it up, I was like, what? I felt like an idiot. Like, you know what, Liz? That's what happens when you don't do your homework. You get ripped off. So anyway, I will probably keep that because I really do love the imagery. For a while, I couldn't use it because every time I did, I just was like, you know, that friggin' guy, what the hell? Why didn't he produce this on good cardstock in a normal tarot size? I don't know, but he didn't. Okay, Anima Mundi. I'm going to put that in maybe. I think that'll probably end up keeping, but I'm going to put that in maybe. This is a second copy of Sacerabito. I think I mentioned with the other copy that when I was reading for the public, people just loved that deck. So I decided, I don't know why. I decided, okay, well, I'll have one deck for me and one deck for the public. So I bought a second copy. No, I traded for a second copy. That's what it was. This is the Full Soul Trees. That's definitely a keeper. This is, the Golden Thread by Tina Gong. It's black and gold, and it's on plastic cardstock. It's very, you know, simplistic. Maybe used it once or twice. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith. It's going in no. Goodbye. Okay. Oh, the Fountain Tarot. I think this might have been the first Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I don't know, but crowdsourcing deck. Look at that I ever backed. And I don't use it too much. Look at though, it's just, I mean, I don't know what the independent one, I think it's now independently, mass market produced, but look at that. It's really lovely. The guidebook has that same holographic. It's really lovely. I really don't use it too much, but I have sentimental attachment to it. So should I put it in maybe? I'll put it in maybe. I'll probably end up keeping it though, to be honest. Next up. Boo! Look at this, it's so beat up. The cards are like a mess. The guidebook is falling apart. I used this deck to, I just used the heck out of it for like a couple of years. I do have, I think I showed on a previous video, I do have the revised edition of this. It's got, it's borderless, it's on matte, and it's got just a black with the title at the bottom, but I will never get rid of this. And I'm embarrassed to say I also have this. I mean, this just shows how nutty I am. Okay, so I have the other version. I have this version, but I thought, oh, you know, I really like the orange or terracotta borders better. And I mean, I like the revised version just fine, but I just love what I call the orange version. What if something happened to one of my cards? What if it ripped or I lost it or I don't know. So Lisa de St. Croix, who's the creator of that deck, had mentioned she only had like 10 or 15 or something left. And I went, I better buy one for a backup. Just like, really? Okay. So I have that. This, I have to say, is one of those decks that I talked about I might end up with 5 or 10 of. It's a collect. I have it as a collector only. I never use it. I probably never will. Oh my God, but it's freaking glorious. I mean, oh, just to touch it, the cardstock, it's just, oh, it's almost, I feel like I'm using an antique, even though I know it's not. And I just adore it, and I will, you know, I'm going to keep it. It's by, it's La Corte de Tarocchi. It's designed by Ana Maria Donofrio, and it's Il Meneghello. I got to keep it. I love it. This is I think it's called the Magpie. It's a charm kit by, oh, it's two. It's two. Oh, that's right. So this is the Magpie Oracle, and it's Charms by Carrie Paris. And then this one is Mediumship and Casting Seer Charms, also by Carrie Paris. And, oh, I forget what the guy's name is. He's in Toronto. He has a metaphysical store. Anyway, he collaborated with her. So I love both of these, and I will be keeping these. This one is another one of those bone of contention ones. I love this. When I opened it up and went through the cards, I felt like coming home. The images, although there really are no older women in this deck. It's mainly younger women, but it's all female presenting. I love it. I hardly ever use it because the cardstock is horrific. It's cardboard. I can't shuffle it. I have small hands, so I have to sideways shuffle. Anyway, forget it. So it keeps me from using the deck, even though I love the deck. So you know what? I was going to put this in keep, but I'm going to put it in maybe, because later for you, Modern Witch. And then last but not least in this video is my Aquarian Tarot. This is the vintage one, and I mentioned, I think yesterday, that I'm going to let go of the mass market, modern, up-to-date one. This is from 1984. I could tell what date it was from because I watched Esther at Mindful Tarot. She does a whole video, a whole series on how you can tell what date the Aquarian is. And the person who was selling it said it was a 1970 something one. And I looked at it, and I looked at Esther's video, and I'm like, nope, it's 1984. So then I got to bargain with the price. Yay, Esther, yay me. So I bought that from someone who was releasing their entire tarot collection. When I bought it from them, I didn't realize that. But they were releasing their entire tarot collection because they had recanted. That's all I'll say. Anyway, yay, now I have it. And I love it. I love having some vintage decks. I don't have too many, but I love it. So, okay, closet done. I have a shelf and odds and ends over there, and then I have a shelf in my bedroom. So, actually, I guess there'll be 2 more videos. Today, I said goodbye to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said maybe to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I kept probably about the same amount, 14. So, you know what? I'm making progress. I mean, you know how when you decide to clean out a closet, halfway through, you really start to regret it because it's so overwhelmingly messy. And you're like, oh shoot, why did I ever think this was a good idea? I'm kind of at that place where I feel like, what was I thinking? Like, this is, these videos are fun to make, but once I'm done with the videos, I'm going to be like, oh, now I actually have to get to work to do something about the things that I'm maybeing, and keep the maybe stuff. I'm just going to put in, I have a trunk that I'm going to put them in. They'll just be put aside for a few months, and I'll get to them. But then I'm going to have to do, I will do a video again on all the ones that I'm saying goodbye to, and folks can let me know if they want to buy them or not. Or trade. I really would rather sell. I don't want more decks in. I'm trying to release decks, but anyway, make me an offer. All right, my friends. Thanks again for joining me. And holy moly, I'm getting there. Wow, it's really a big old mess around here. Mwah. Peace and love.